welcome back to Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the I because not only can I talk my shit, but you can talk your shit too. Hey. So I guess this would be episode 2, technically 1, because this would be the first time I'm actually talking about a topic, but episode 2, because before I just introduced myself, let y'all know why I'm here. But now I actually want to talk my shit on some shit. So let's get it started. In the midst of trying to figure out, like, where to take this podcast and stuff, like in what direction, where I want to start, what should I talk my shit about? Because there's so much stuff to talk about. It's like, where should I start? And honestly, at first, I really didn't know, but then I had an epiphany. Where, I thought back to, my post on Instagram where I like started doing this. So I had a thought kind of video clip thing where I would basically just like give my opinion or thought on like little things where I just randomly came across them and just gave a little blurb or idea on it or whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe I can take those little clips and make them into full form videos, I guess, or elaborate more on how I felt. Because, in today's day and age, short videos ain't really getting your point across in the way that you want to get your point across. So I want to take those little clips and kind of elongate them just to get me started, just to give me content, I guess. So like the first video that I did, hey y'all, so I had a thought, right? It was on what do you bring to the table? And I know this is a question that, God willing, nobody's really asking anymore, but in the off chance that people still are, I'm gonna talk my shit on it or whatever. Or kind of like how I came across it and, my thoughts surrounding it and things of that nature, and kind of elaborating on my video from Instagram. So how I came across the what do you bring to the table, or the first time I really like actually heard that and people was talking about it, was from 8 at the Table. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, check it out. They have cool content. I'm not mad at it. Definitely great conversation over there. But basically, it was a whole conversation surrounding what do like men versus women bring to the table. And I think the main conversation was between Rico and Aaron, and they were kind of going back and forth a little bit about what a man brings to the table versus what a woman brings to the table. And so I'm sure you've seen it by now, but if you haven't, go watch it. Um, but my take on it and what I put into the Instagram video was more so like, figure out what you need at your table before you even go searching for other people to bring anything to your table. A lot of us are like literally moving through life not even knowing what the hell we want. And when you move through life with no direction, you're liable to end up in hell if you want to go there. Like, you'll end up in hell. Like, so I think with the whole what do you bring to the table question, I don't really think that you should be asking that question unless you even know what you need at your table, what you want at your table, or, what do you bring to the table? Because I noticed that in asking that question, they'll say a lot of women couldn't answer that question, but I think that a lot of people cannot answer that question because it's not often that we are taught to actually assess the good things, the good qualities that we bring to a place. I guess you kind of do that with work, which I kind of appreciate. That is, at a job, they ask, what are your good qualities? What are your bad qualities? But for a relationship, a lot of people don't really know what their good qualities is versus what their bad qualities is. So, like, what is the good stuff you bring into the table? Shit, what is the bad stuff you bring into the table? Because I think that's important to know as well. Is like your goods, but also your bads, so that you even know what you're looking for to complement your goods and your bads, you know? Because I think opposites do attract. So I think that you're 9 times out of 10, you're gonna attract what the hell you lacking in the worst way possible. No, just kidding. But no, I think like attracts like. The opposite attracts thing, it depends on what you're referring to, but I think like attracts like for the most part, and opposites attract in some ways too. Again, I think it just depends on what you're looking at, but I think you're more likely to attract like when you don't have direction. I think you're more likely to attract the opposite when you actually have direction, because you're looking for what needs to complement you versus what needs to match what you got going on here. So the way that I explain this with my friends was basically like, say you're having like a Thanksgiving dinner or whatever the case may be, and you only know how to cook ham, macaroni, and yams. You're not gonna go to your family members and just say, bring whatever you want to the table. No, you're gonna tell them, I know how to make ham, macaroni, and yams, and I still need this to go along with it. Or you may end up with 3 hams, 2 macaronis, and 4 pans of yams. Though, in our community, I don't think you'd be mad at that amount of food because it's gonna get eaten, but you're not gonna have a balanced meal because you're not gonna have any vegetables or, any other sides. You're only gonna have hams, yams, and macaroni because that's all everybody know how to make. And you didn't tell anybody what else you needed at your table. You just told them to bring something. And I guess with asking what do people bring to the table, you're kind of, I guess you could maneuver through not getting the same thing that you make. But again, you have to know that you are excellent in making macaroni, ham, and yams. If you don't know that those are the only 3 things you can make, then how you gonna be able to tell somebody else you don't need to bring those things? And maybe that ain't the best analogy, but I'm new to this and don't judge me. But more to the story is like, you really need to be able to tell people what you need at your table. You gotta tell people what's lacking. You gotta tell people what's missing. You gotta tell people what is going to help make your life easier. Period. If you're not the best communicator, or you're not the most open or the most vulnerable, it would make sense to try and find somebody who have those qualities, because they're going to be able to help you to build on those qualities. You don't want to be emotionally closed off and find somebody who's emotionally closed off. Y'all going to be bumping heads. Or you don't want to find somebody who's the breadwinner and you're the breadwinner, and now y'all tussling about who's gonna call the shots. Like, in my opinion, you should be looking for somebody to complement your life, not to add on top of it, and then y'all missing a whole piece of what goes into the relationship. If that makes sense. Because I don't know. I'm just talking, rambling, whatever. But yeah, establish what needs to be at your table. Like, for me, I am super open, vulnerable, all that other stuff, but I suck at setting boundaries. So I'm going to need somebody who sets boundaries, because then it'll help me to learn how to set boundaries. Can I learn how to do that by myself? I absolutely can. But will it help to have a partner that can be my accountability buddy, so to speak, that can help me to maintain that on this journey we call life? because you can't do everything by yourself. Yeah, so it would help me to have somebody who's good at setting boundaries. I also am not the most open to sharing my discrepancies. So I'm vulnerable in a sense of I'll tell you everything except for what's wrong with me, I guess, because I try not to shake the table or whatever. Though I am working on that. It wouldn't hurt to have somebody that can call me out on it. You know, I appreciate that I have come across people who will ask me what's wrong multiple times, though they will get upset that I do not share on the first time. I do eventually end up sharing because I'm slowly working on opening up and letting people know that I have grievances and that sometimes things is wrong with me, you know? So it helps to know what's going on with you, what you need help with, what the person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life can help you with, and then go out into the world and ask people what they bring to the table. But if you don't even know what the fuck you need at your table, you should not be asking nobody what they bring to the table. Because you're not even going to know if it's going to compliment you or if it's just gonna give you a headache, because it's gonna be exactly what you already have at your table and you're gonna see it as redundant. You don't need two of the same things at your table. You need multiple things. You need a plate and silverware to go with the plate and a napkin to go with that. Who's bringing all this stuff? Who's bringing the cup? Who's bringing the juice to go in the cup? Who's bringing the stuffing? Who's bringing the dressing? Who's bringing the turkey? Who's bringing the ham? Who's bringing the different things that is going to go on this table? But if you don't even know what you got that you can aid to the table, you ain't even going to know what the hell is going to be beneficial at your table with somebody even telling you. Because the biggest thing I learned from that video, because I don't remember if Rico ever said what he needed at his table. But the biggest thing that I seen with that is he kept shutting down everything that the lady Erin said she brought to the table. Like, she was like, I turn a house into a home. I cook, I clean, I do the little things that you don't even think about. And he was just like, all those things could be paid for. So my question would be, sir, what the fuck do you need at your table? If all those things could be paid for, what do you need at your table? Because everybody ain't gonna need what you need at your table. Because those things that she said would be so valued at somebody else's table. So it ain't even gonna make no sense for me to tell you I cook, I clean, I'm a whole housewife in this bitch for real. If you don't need that, what do you need? He literally was just like, I could pay for all those things. So what do you need at your table? What do you need? And that's where I feel like that conversation should have started, is I have this, and this, and I need this. Can you bring this? Versus, what do you bring? Shut down all the shit you bring, because I don't need that shit. It's like, if you show up as yourself, telling people who you are, they're either gonna latch onto it or they're gonna get the fuck ASAP. Versus you latching on to somebody, or not even latching on, but versus you going to somebody asking for their resume and you don't even know what position need to be filled. I don't know if that makes sense. It sounds like it do, but when you just be talking, you don't even know if it makes sense or not. Y'all let me know if it makes sense. For real, because I don't, it beats me. I don't know. But yeah, that really grinded my gears a little bit when, like, she literally says the quote unquote things that you would think that a man wants at his table. A lot of people talk about how women don't cook, how women don't clean, how women don't do this, that, and the third. And for him to be like, nah, I can pay for all that. What else? So go ahead and tell me what you need at your table. Because at this point, I don't even know. Like, I don't. Tell me what you need at your table. And that's another thing, too. It's like we generalize everything. So like I just said, like those are things we would think that most men would want at their tables. And it's like, nah, you can't generalize. When you go on a date, don't be like, I can cook, I can clean, and all this other stuff. If you don't even know if this person needs you to cook and clean and all this other stuff. What do you need from a partner? What do I need from a partner? Not what do you do. It's what do you need? Or what would you want from a partner? Which I'm going to do another video on need versus want another time. Because I shouldn't say need. For some reason, I think those two things are so different. And they're causing so much friction within our community. But that's another video for another day. But, but it's like, what do you want to add on to your table? What do you need, so to speak, I guess? So to speak, at your table to complete your feast. Because at the beginning and end of the day, when you're going to a relationship with people, you're trying to complete a circle, not have a hemisphere. Like, you're trying to complete the whole thing. And so in order to complete it, you gotta be able to know what you are lacking. So that's really just my 2 cents on it. And yeah, I don't know if this really made sense or not. If it didn't, that's fine. My mind just be all over the place. But if it did, and you took something from this, talk your shit in the comments. Tell me what you took from it. Tell me what you may need from your table. Maybe somebody else can agree with what you need at your table and tell you that they might have needed it too. Or they might can give you ideas of stuff that you ain't even think to add to your table. You never know. You ain't got to tell me your whole business, but you definitely can leave a comment and share some of the things that you may need at your table. And hopefully you can get some ideas, or you can go back and do some introspection, figuring out what are you proficient in when it comes to relationships, or shit, even jobs, or whatever. Like, what are you proficient in? What are you not proficient in? What do you still need work with? What do you think that somebody, if they came into your life for the rest of your life, they could help you with? Because those should be the things that you're looking for, honestly. Those should be the qualities that stand out to you most, is the things that you need at your table. The things that would make you feel better if they were at your table. The things that compliment. I mean, you could definitely have 2 hams. We ain't never mad at 2 hams. Because if you got 2 smart people, we ain't never mad at that. But at the beginning and the end of the day, we don't want a half-ass meal. We want a complete meal, a full meal. We want to be nourished. We want a protein, a carbohydrate, a veggie. Would that be enough? It's been a long time since I've been in nutrition. I don't know. But you know what I mean. A drink, some water, all this. Essentials, your nutrients, a napkin to wipe your mouth. I don't know. But hopefully this just makes you think about, what do you need at your table? What do you have at your table? And what would you not mind having more of at your table? Because me, I definitely wouldn't mind having more yams. I feel like we run out of yams every year. I wouldn't mind having more yams at the table. So if somebody can bring extra yams, you know? So it's like, what don't you mind having 2 of? What do you need 1 of? What do you already have 1 of? Those are the things that you need to be assessing first before you go out into the world. Go look for other people. Unless you really just don't give a damn where you end up and you are okay with having your heart broken or breaking other people's hearts or being directionless in this crazy ass world. If you're okay with doing that, then don't listen to me. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. You don't need to know what needs to be brought to your table. You don't need to know none of that. But if you want to have direction, if you want to move through this world in a direction that makes sense, let the wind blow you to the right place, assess what you are lacking at your table. And hopefully, again, somebody in the comments may come up with something that you didn't even know you were lacking at your table. Something that you hadn't even thought about because it was lying dormant in your thoughts or whatever. So yeah, talk your shit in the comments. So yeah, this is cool. I don't even know if I made sense. And if I did, who cares? It's the first episode. We'll probably get a little bit better as we go along. But right now, we just trying to get this out to the world. So yeah, this is the first/second episode. I guess we'll just stick with going in order. So it's the second episode about what do you bring/need at your table. I don't know. Something like that. We'll figure it out in the title. But yeah, so yeah, this is Talk Your Shit with Deja again, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, I want you to talk your shit too. And this was fun. Hopefully I see y'all like every Wednesday. I don't even know who I'm seeing, but hopefully I see y'all every Wednesday. And we're gonna talk some shit about some more shit that I'm gonna come up with when I come up with it. So yeah, y'all have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. It's gonna be on a good Wednesday, so we're gonna get you over through the rest of the week with these good videos. But y'all have a great rest of y'all day/night. Bye.